Look, we've just seen this with AI. We knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. And then it came in a way that shocked us to our core. I mean, everybody is like, okay, everything has changed. Society's changed. We don't even know what it means for education. We don't even know what it means to be a human in certain aspects anymore. The industries we thought wouldn't be disrupted, the creative industries, were disrupted first. Right, so the scale of what is happening in AI and how fast that came, that was the fastest adoption of any product ever. 20 days, 0 to 11 million people. So I don't know if it's tomorrow or whether it's in 3 years. But if you wait too late, you will not be ready. Somebody else will eat your lunch. It's as simple as that.
Welcome back at Market Empire, your partner giving you your daily dose about the latest crypto news and thoughts of different analysts and investors. Watch it till the end of the video. Raoul Pal is very optimistic about the prospects of risk assets in 2023 and believes that the same scenario will play out in the cryptocurrency market and on the blockchain. He also has a very positive outlook on the future.
So if you're an investment bank, it's really straightforward. You are the gatekeeper to your clients, and everybody has to come through you. And occasionally you might hold dinner and get some clients together or an event, but that's it. So you don't have a network effect that others leverage. They have to go to you for that. Web3 enables distributed networks of people and people to be able to share in the success of that network. So imagine if Morgan Stanley had tokenized, and I've been speaking to an investment bank who's looking at doing this, a smaller investment bank, boutique investment bank, who've tokenized their clients. And I'm looking at doing it with the exponential age asset management to create a token around our clients. So now your clients and you share in the success, because the value of a network is driven by the number of connections between the people on the network and the number of people on the network. So if Morgan Stanley were to have a Morgan Stanley token, and that token is your access to the Morgan Stanley world, but not just via the salespeople or the websites, but actually to the other customers themselves. Now, what could you do? What value could you create without the need of the investment bank in the middle? But the investment bank still gets fees because the network value goes up, or maybe they take, every time there's a transaction, a small part. But imagine how disruptive that is to having salespeople. The tangible, and a salesperson knows if I get these clients together, they'll probably do more business than if I keep them apart. But investment banks don't think that way. They want to keep everybody separate, don't speak to each other. Same with asset management firms. But actually, if you put people together and say, you're now a participant in this network, then all that economic activity on the network drives the value of the network higher. So everybody benefits, the bank and the customers, and everyone has a value for being part of that network. It's a really simple concept behind Web3, which is an alignment of interest and a removal of middlemen at the center of everything. Doesn't mean they don't play a role. They can be the facilitators, the organizers, the creators of ideas, the synthesizers. But if you allow the network to operate itself, it's like in the old days, you used to have to phone, before my time, you used to call the operator and say, hey, put me through to SoMe. And then we got phone numbers. And suddenly what happens? Business explodes because you can call everybody directly. And then it became even easier with the rise of mobile phones and all the information at your fingertips. These are just networks, typical Metcalfe's law network effects. And the value that accrues goes exponential, because there's all of the people working for the network to make it valuable. So another classic example is Facebook. So Facebook is a classic Web 2 story, which is they provide you the utility of being able to connect with people, sell stuff, do whatever you want on their network. They own the network, the shareholders own the network, and then they monetize you as you use the network, ads, other fees. Now, Facebook was a very powerful business and still remains so to this day. So, these are not new concepts. Tokenization just makes it really easy to authenticate. If you think of a share, it's really difficult to authenticate. I don't have a share certificate. How do you authenticate who you are, what you are, how you belong to the Berkshire Hathaway shareholders? It doesn't work. But tokenization allows that instantaneously because it can become your identity. Now, all of those, if we go to the investment banking industry, every derivative contract, every OTC derivative contract is vaguely unique. Yes, sure, it might be a swap, but it might have certain terms, or it could be an option. That is a contract. It's a unique contract. Now, right now, it's a nightmare to settle all of this stuff, to understand who owns what, to sweep the collateral, to figure out anything that happens within the whole ecosystem. It's opaque. There's all these ISDA complications. Have you signed the ISDA? Banks have backlogs of ISDAs. It's all a mess. Now, yes, some of it's gone to centralized exchanges, but you can do all of this on a smart contract. So I can buy from Morgan Stanley a call option on the euro. I don't have to sell it back to their desk. I can sell it back to Deutsche Bank, because in that contract is the code of what it is. And if it pays out, it pays out. So there is, it is a complete change of global business model and how behavioral economics fits into the modern society. And people don't understand it because they think it's about cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency is the value of that network of which it's a pawn. So of course they go up and down a lot because these networks are new. But imagine if you owned a token on the entire global value of the mobile phone network. What is that worth? Trillions of dollars. Now imagine, all of the fees that accrue from using the network. The same can be said of almost any network. And so these things are going to accrue extraordinary amounts of tangible values that used to be intangibles. Is even when you think about managing a corporation. So if one of the things you want your teams to collaborate and you pay bonuses based on that, well, if you go into the room and you show your QR code and it says that you've met with these people, right? You've got a way of having a quantifiable bonus structure. There is also another thing that most companies have is the people who do particularly well are very in demand. So everybody wants more of their time. I think at some point we will just tokenize time. So if there's a HSBC token and you happen to be the amazing IT person that everybody wants to use, well, you have to pay with tokens. And so you've got a free market in people's time. So there are so many ways that we haven't even started that we can do with these smart contracts and the tokens. And the smart contract is basically code that settles the contract, that tells you the rules of the contract and how it's settled. It's as simple as that. And that's why anything could be kind of stored on it. It's basically storing something on a blockchain. All of that becomes much easier to manage. Your life becomes much easier. You have one wallet, all your authentications are in there, and you can do all of that. And it, as I said before, it supercharges behavioral economics. So behavioral economics is basically gamification of the global economy. It's human incentives. It's basically psychology and behavioral sciences. And how you incentivize people is much easier when you've got a token-based system. Basically, that is not far off what Facebook did with the like button and stuff like that. Some of them, they're using emotion as the token, essentially. But basically, you can incentivize people to take certain actions. Now, games have done this for years. That's why games have scaled so big that they're bigger than all other media added together. Because of the behavioral incentives within the game. You get here, then you get that. You come here, and then you get that. Can you take it from one game to the other? Well, that comes down to blockchain. It's at every fundamental level of everything we do is human economic activity changes because of blockchain technology. Car documents on the internet. We're seeing real estate. We're seeing the European Investment Bank using bonds. We're seeing various countries experimenting with currencies, central bank digital currencies. We're seeing it's at every level. So everybody's opinion is absolutely irrelevant right now about what they think and what it should be. And oh my God, FTX. It's nothing to do with all of that. That is just one of the manifestations of how people can utilize this market. And that's buying and selling securities or tokens or whatever. And financial markets is full of that, you know. Currency, everybody does it almost every day without even realizing it. They're trading currencies when they buy something off the US Amazon website. People don't even know, but financialization of everything is there. So, you know, should stuff be regulated? Of course. But that is not the technology. The technology is all of the things we're talking about, is how to leverage behavioral science and technology itself with distributed ledger systems to disrupt almost every business model, because it's more efficient, it's faster, and it's safer. And in this world, it's really important. We can't navigate this world any longer with KYC. We have to go to my bank, get a letter signed, go and find some utility bill, put that. It's ludicrous. The whole lot can be done in 1 second on blockchain. Now, India's done this, but not on blockchain. They have something called India Stack, and you authenticate yourself with your fingerprint or your retina scan. And within that, you can attach what's known as India Stack, which is all of your KYC documentation, including your medical records and your university certificates. And I can go into a bank and open a bank account with my fingerprint. I don't need a wallet. I don't need a passport. I don't need anything, because it's all in there. They see it all. They authenticate it. Done. Seconds. Now think of how many staff you can save. Think of the costs that you save. Think of how much happier your customers are if they don't have to do all of this shit every time you try and do something. Imagine having one authentication where all your KYC document is. So all of this is happening. And I speak to Google, Facebook, I speak to LinkedIn, I speak to Meta, all of these networks. They're all going down this route.
What are your thoughts regarding Raoul Pal's prediction for 2023? Please let us know in the section below, and be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications for future videos. Thank you for watching.